Hello and welcome to today's esoteric collective reading. Hope you're having a nice day. Just some quick little disclaimers. One, I got my microphone to work. I forgot to mention that, but if you saw, I think it was a couple of readings ago, I got my microphone to work again, so we're back to good audio. Also, I have a cat for new viewers of the channel, so sometimes he may appear on screen or he might play with a cat toy. Right now he's just chilling right off camera, so we shouldn't have any interruptions, but just so you're aware, if you hear like a shuffling or you see a cat on screen, that's why. But yeah, let's get into this reading of what the collective needs to know. I've got a candle going. I don't remember exactly what the smell is. I think it's like pumpkin and oak wood. So those could be a synchronicity for you. Immediately we got 3 cards. So that's fun. Starting off with the Nine of Cups. This idea of emotional fulfillment within oneself. Nine of Cups, excuse me while I readjust the camera, is very commonly attributed to being like a wish fulfillment card of like the feeling you get when your wish comes in. Because the wish card would be more the star of the tarot, frankly. Interesting. And then we've got the Justice and the Three of Swords. So it looks like, friends, you've been through some hell. But I should note that the 2 cards, like at the bottom of the deck, and then the one that was like this, so just for clarification, is 6 of Pentacles and 10 of Cups with that 4 of Wands peeking out. So this idea of, while you've been through some hell, specifically, you've been through some mental anguish with that 3 of Swords, right? Is this idea that, let me get the cards out first. And then, what's that last card right there for the 3 of Cups and 9 of Wands? Thank you. Interesting. Okay. So, it looks like you've been through some hell. With the cards here, it's giving the vibe of particularly romantic hell. You could have been going through a breakup. You could have been... Honestly, it's giving breakup energy. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic breakup. You could have had like a friend breakup, or maybe you lost your job, and so you lost a lot of those connections that you had at work, whether they be platonic or more, right? So it's that idea of, with that 3 of Swords, like, you need some change. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm literally readjusting my shirt because it's hot as hell in here for some reason. Which it wasn't a little while ago, so there's that. I did check the AC though a couple hours ago, so we know. I know what it's on, and this is hot in here. So, could be a vibe that tensions are high, right? That idea of like, you're in the oven that is also on, so you're burning a little bit. It gives me that idea of that meme with the dog in the room with fire. He's like, this is fine, and he's drinking his food or whatever. Or drinking his food? I was gonna say drinking his coffee, and then I went with food. So, speaking of, coffee break, LOL. If you have a coffee, feel free to take a sip. I got gifted this mug like years ago. It's got a little gay heart on it. I don't know if you can see that, but enjoy. Cheers. But yeah, this is giving me the vibe that you are due for some karmic retribution, my friend. This is giving the vibe of like, you deserve some good times. Some good times. Especially with that 4 of Wands and that 6 of Pentacles. I mean, that's the vibes of like, you're given a time to celebrate you almost, right? 6 of Pentacles is like an act of kindness. So I think a lot of like, you giving a homeless person $20, or a person without a home, my bad. Or you getting a scholarship for a college, free ride, or full ride, my bad. Free, I can't talk. Maybe you're getting something for free, you know, that act of kindness is getting something for free, and that something is that 10 of Cups Justice era. Interesting. This could be, okay. We're gonna get a little woo-woo, enjoy. This could be like an era of karmic retribution for you that is on the horizon because of the heartbreak that you have been through in the past with love. platonic, romantic, familial love. It's up to you. Whatever resonates the most for like the most heartbreak, or maybe the most recent, if you've been going through something, particularly this past couple of weeks with something like that. You've done a lot of healing, which has led to a good bit of emotional fulfillment, especially with the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Cups coming out. It's like that idea of like, you're coming into your own. You're stepping out. It's like that, I think it's Diana Ross. It's like the, I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Like that. That's the vibe. It's giving you're about to step into an era of celebrating you and the work emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually that you have done. Which frankly, fuck yeah. Kudos to you, because that Three of Swords, excuse me, I just had to burp, is not an easy card. That's a lot of energy. It's like, honestly, it's known to be a hard card for a reason. I speak a lot in music, so if you're not familiar with my channel, I'll recommend a lot of songs to you. The one that's coming to mind is Three of Swords. It's like called Three of Swords from Callum Hood. It's off of the Order, Chaos, Order album. I just saw 6:11 on the timer. So, yeah, that idea of like new beginnings with those ones, and then that 6 being that idea of like, I think of it as like a balance number. It can commonly be attributed to other things with different religions, but it's all about like balance and love. One could even say partnership, although that's more the number 2, but c'est la vie, you know, such as life, whatever. Point being though, if you're seeing this, especially if you have not been exposed to my channel before, you are due for some karmic retribution, some time to celebrate you and the healing that you have done. Which honestly, like I said, fuck yeah. Alright, let's pull, you know what, I'm gonna pull some from my Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle deck. All the decks used will be in the description. I really like this one for just some like themes. I don't always read the book experts for these, so if you're interested, feel free to check out the deck for yourself. The book that comes with it is very pretty, very nice. It gives quotes and a little intention after explaining the card to kind of leave you with. So if you're interested in that deck, feel free to check it out. I put the name and the owner or the author of it in the description. But let's talk about this karmic retribution. You know, what's this fun stuff coming for you? Interesting. Okay. So we have mindful and mystical. Let me put that card a little closer. So with mindful, it's giving the vibe, especially with mystical coming out together, it's the vibe that maybe if you do your own readings or you do any witch work or stuff like that, you could be very aware of like shadow work and working through that, right? So I got distracted. Somebody's delivering a package. So, and it's to my place, even though it's to my roommate. So this could be the idea of like being mindful, but also while receiving, right? So we talked about how you're due for some karmic retribution. You're going to be in an era of celebrating you, right? But even still, keeping that mindful energy of making sure, like, you keep your wits about you, right? That mystical card talks a lot about, like, learning new Reiki, or learning how to do tarot, or learning how to do spell work. It's that idea of, like, learning about the unknown in a way where you can harness that unknown energy for your own good or for the good of others, right? Preferably both. So, yeah. You could be working a lot, especially with that mindful card, on being very centered in your own energy right now, especially with this new adventure that's about to, you know, come across your feed, it feels like. It's the vibe of, like, interesting that I said feed, too. You could be going viral. That could be it. If you do online content, that could be part of this celebration of you, right? But that idea of being mindful within the celebration because of the reasons why you're celebrating, right? It's like celebrating for the right reasons. But yeah, let's get some more on this. Magical. Cute. Owls could be a synchronicity for you. Also, all of these show a full moon, which I believe the day that I'm filming this, it's a new moon. So it's like the ending and beginning of cycles. And then we have Rejoice, which it came out upright, but for the ease of y'all seeing it, I'm going to put it sideways. But just know that that did come up upright. But yeah, this idea of like, this is going to feel very magical, if you will. This, whenever this era of you begins, I'm hearing, it's giving the vibe of like a rocket shutting off, or not shutting off, but like going off and then like going up into the air, and like that big explosion that happens those first couple of like minutes, right? That's the, excuse me, the energy that I'm feeling here. It's very much, I've been getting the energy of like you might snap and something will happen, right? Like it's giving being very grateful and happy and thankful. I guess it's the same thing as grateful, but still, like, in your energy, what you are capable of, what you have done in the past, and what you want to do for the future. Being grateful for having aspirations that align with what you want to contribute to this world, right? But also in a way where it feels almost like a too good to be true. That magical card gives me the vibe of, like, a kid watching a magic show, and because they're a kid, they don't understand how they're doing the magic, so to them it's just magic. And because you don't understand how it's happening, it just feels unreal, right? So this could be something that where it's like, because you're not understanding every single reason why this era of you is happening, you just know that you've been through some shit and you would like some good stuff to happen, frankly. That's giving the vibe, especially with that Three of Swords and Justice and the Nine of Cups coming out immediately to begin with. Because like I mentioned, we started the reading with all three of those popping out immediately. It's this idea that maybe you're just in the energy of, you know, you've been through some shit and you would really love to have the justice of having a wish come true. And I'm here to tell you, it will. You just gotta, you know, it's giving me the it's giving Hanged Man a little bit of like, this energy is going to approach you. This energy of celebrating you is going to be it. In the meantime, until it approaches, just being mindful that you can celebrate you at any point in time. Being mindful that you are magical, whether or not you may think it. Because you as a human have ability to do whatever you want with your life. Now, obviously, there's some restrictions depending on maybe the country you live in, and I'm not going to make light of those restrictions, because depending on, frankly, the race or gender or sexuality, you could have quite a few more restrictions than your fellow other person in that country. My point being, though, is that even with all of those hate-filled restrictions, there's this idea that you are still capable of making what you want happen in this world. This idea that you can rejoice in the fact that you are proud of who you are, proud of what you can accomplish, proud of who you can become if you have not already become that. You know what I mean? It's that idea of that mystical energy especially. It's like being mindful that you are that bitch despite the fact that you might not have been treated as such, right? Yeah. This is exuding like confidence, but because of insecurities that have been worked through and been built into a brand new structure that is incredibly foundationally sound with confidence, right? It's giving like justified confidence, right? Like for me, the difference between arrogancy and confidence is one you had to work for and the other one's a lie, right? So arrogancy being the lie. Usually people who are arrogant are usually also insecure and they just don't want to hide. They don't want to talk about that, so they hide that. Whereas confidence to me is because you've had to work for that confidence of working through loving yourself and loving what you can do for this world and loving how you are on even a day-to-day basis, right? It's not just about the big things, also loving the little things. I just saw 1414 on the timer, which 14 is temperance in the deck, and we also did get that card in your reading, right? So it's, you've been through a lot of healing, I can tell. And I'm putting my hand like over my heart right now. Like, it's, you've been through a lot. And every time I talk about that card, I get like choked up. So I just want to remind you to breathe and know that you are that bitch. Whether or not you identify as any gender, you are that person. I would like to even be as bold as to say, I think you have become the person that child you needed. which I know I don't know you personally, but going off of the cards, if you're still here 15 minutes into this reading, I would say that maybe you have. Especially with that Justice card and that Temperance. Like, yeah. So I'm going to end it off with an All of You is Magic card. These are good for meditation or visualization practices, if you're interested in those. But while I'm pulling that card, I just kind of want to just say congratulations. This is amazing. And, excuse me, I had to burp, which is a, oh my god, okay. It's like a release of energy. It can also be confirmation, which is funny because in my head I was thinking the phrase, I'm proud of you, and then I didn't want to say it, and then I burped twice. So I'm going to say that I'm proud of you. I sometimes struggle with that phrase when it comes to these readings because obviously I don't know you in person, but even if I don't know you in person, I can say that if you are somebody who has gone through this, then I am proud of you, because that's a hard journey to go through. So let's get a card for you to end this off with. I think I mentioned this before, but if you're interested in any of the decks, they'll be listed in the description. And yeah. So first, I don't think we've gotten this card before. That's fun. The color red could be synchronicity for you. First, feel free to peruse the imagery. See if any thoughts, feelings, memories come to mind. Maybe like an old quote or poem from when you were a kid. Yeah. And then we're going to read. Shame thrives in darkness. Shedding light on the thoughts or memories that bring us shame takes power away from this pent-up emotion. Which is kind of what I was talking about with that healing. I feel like you've very much been on that journey of going through your past and releasing a lot of the shame that you were taught, right? Especially with that idea of like how memories can be shaped over time and sometimes shaped through fear. Yeah. So I'm going to read it one more time. Feel free to close your eyes and just really feel this energy. Shame thrives in darkness. Shedding light on the thoughts or memories that bring us shame takes power away from this pent-up emotion. And then the little ritual at the bottom of the card. Hopefully you can read that. Think about one thing that makes you feel shame, and scribble it on paper or share it with a trusted loved one. Allow it to exist outside your mind. Notice what happens when you cast a light on the shadows. And I just saw 18:11 on the timer then when I looked up, so very much this idea of karmic retribution because of the work you've done, frankly. I'm feeling called to pull one more card from this deck, so while I do my outro, if you stick to the end, you'll get an extra card. But if you're still here, please check out my linktree in my YouTube description and YouTube bio to help donate money to Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Yemen, and Haiti, as well as many more. The whole point of that linktree is to help put money to where money can help people live better lives. So if you're interested in doing that with your money today, check that out. Also, if you're an immigrant, particularly in the United States, I hope you have a fan-flippantastic day. And I hope you stay safe. And I hope you get to experience something beautiful today. I'm going to be kind of vague with it because the card came out and I want to get to this. But I hope you get to experience something beautiful today. But yeah, let's get to this last card. Once again, feel free to peruse the imagery, see if any thoughts or feelings or emotions come to mind. I guess feelings and emotions are the same thing, but maybe some memories. And then we'll go to reading. Hopefully you can see that. Change is a regular visitor that can leave you physically and emotionally drained. When it comes around, slow down and go easy on yourself. especially with this new era of you that's coming in. I think that's really important to remember. When you've been going through a lot of hardship, 20 on the timer, it can be, when you've gone through bad, experiencing good can feel also bad. But that's just because your body has to adjust to experiencing good in a way where it feels familiar, so that way the good feels safe. Most people find things that are familiar to be safe. Whether or not the familiar is actually safe is, well, that's up to the person. But let's go ahead and read the ritual. Hopefully you can see that. Visualize the discomfort of change as an entity outside you. Allow it to sit with you in silence. Accept it without judgment. Yeah. I think a part of this card, as I put it down, is talking about, like, that idea that the discomfort that you may feel with this change was most likely taught to you. I won't go into your trauma because, like I said, I don't know you, but from speaking from human experience, 2112 on the timer, it's giving that vibe of, like I mentioned, if you're taught bad, if you're taught how to do things in a way where it's bad for you, whether it be mentally, emotionally, or even physically. I think of, like, an athlete not learning how to warm up and they just go and then they usually get hurt because they didn't warm up. They might be familiar with just going because that's what they were taught, but that's not good for their body to just go. You got to warm up, right? So with this change that's coming in, be easy on yourself when you're adjusting to it. Just take your time with it. I think that's my ending advice. Take your time with this change. It's going to be a fun lesson to learn, right? If you think about learning how to accept good things. Out of all the lessons to learn, that's a pretty fun one, I should say. So don't be scared of this change, but just let it flow. Just let it happen. Again, with those cups coming out, just let it happen, but check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, 22 on the timer, and I think you'll be okay. I mean, I know you'll be okay. These cards are really fucking nice, but still, I can understand the anxiety of adjusting to change, so. But yeah, that's it for today's reading, and I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.